There have been 8 premonitions in the 6 Final Destination movies so far, so let's rank them. Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking the premonitions from all the Final Destination movies, including Final Destination Bloodlines, which is the 6th movie in the franchise. And there have been 8 premonitions in the movies so far. Now, I'm not going to be ranking the really small premonitions that are just hunches or signs that they see. So that's the rules of this ranking, is we're not going to be looking at maybe the warning signs, seeing Nurse Calargian from Final Destination 2. I don't consider those premonitions because they're not seeing a full scene. So there's only 8 premonitions that I'm going to be ranking today. And in number 8 is the NASCAR premonition from the beginning of Final Destination 4. I was really disappointed in this premonition because it felt quick, even though it wasn't quick. And I think I wanted to see this one just get out of the way, because when I'm looking at a NASCAR racetrack, it seems to be the most or the least realistic one out of them all. Even though some of them in the franchise are so out there, this one seems like a grounded premonition that just wouldn't really happen in real life. And if it did, it wouldn't kill people in the way that it did in the movie. Of course, as a movie, anything can happen, but it just took me right out of the movie. And after the movie ended, it made me not like that premonition even more. And then number 7 is the underground train death from the end of Final Destination 3. I liked it because it was surprising. I wasn't expecting to see a second big premonition in the movie. And in fact, this was the first time we got this sort of premonition after the first premonition in the franchise. So it was a welcome surprise because I wasn't expecting it. But after the premonition was done, I thought, oh, they could have beefed that out a little bit more, because there was only 3 main characters in that premonition and they all died so fast that you couldn't see it coming. And then number 6 is the roller coaster premonition from Final Destination 3. It is better than the last premonition in that movie, so that's a bonus. But I thought I liked this premonition more than I did. After rewatching it again, I still liked it, but I think the major issue I have with the roller coaster premonition is most of the characters on the train track, on the roller coaster, all died in the same manner. They all fell from the roller coaster, as you do, and they all fall to their death. There are some creative kills in that scene, but most of them, they just fall out and fall to their death. So it's not as creative as I last remembered. And then number 5 is the mall premonition from Final Destination 4. And what makes this ironic is this smaller premonition that's not the main one is better and is better executed than the main NASCAR premonition at the beginning of the movie. That's one of the reasons why it's higher up on the list than the NASCAR. But I like this one. I would have preferred to see this one at the beginning as the main one. And again, it came all of a sudden because I wasn't expecting it. I liked how he snapped out of this premonition and George was smashed by the ambulance so fast. So it was a fast premonition. It was unexpected as well. I liked how it was immersive because they were in the cinema watching a 3D movie. I was in the cinema watching Final Destination 4 in 3D. So you felt like you were part of the audience, not just outside the movie, but inside the movie. And even after that cinema scene was done, they went out into the mall. Then the escalator started to snap. And then the girl was thrown into the engine of the escalator. It was pure gruesome, and I preferred that one over the main one. And then number 4 is the plane crash from Final Destination 1. Now, I wish I put this at number 1, but I have to be honest, and I can't do it. Now, it is a great build-up. It was unexpected, and it was probably the most realistic out of all the premonitions in the franchise. But I have to be honest and say it's not boring, but it is a little bit tame and a little bit more boring than the ones that I've got ranked higher than it. But still, it's the daddy of the premonitions. It was the birth of how it all began. So I have to appreciate it for that. It's just not my favourite. And then number 3 is the bridge collapse from Final Destination 5. I feel like this one was very grand and very inventive as well. I think it was the most expensive premonition so far in the franchise at this point in 2011. I just love how they've done it. I watched the making of how they done the bridge collapse, and although a lot of it was CGI, a lot of it was practical as well. They had to use some of the beams where people were jumping all over. It was really well executed, and I think in the news on the movie, they did mention there was 86 deaths on that bridge. So at that point in the franchise, it was the biggest in scale and the most people died in that Premonition as well. In fact, what am I saying? The most people died. The aeroplane crash in the first one, I guess, was the most, but 86 deaths is nothing to sneeze at. And then number 2 is the highway scene in Final Destination 2. I feel like this one is probably the most iconic because of that log scene. Not only do people not want to drive behind logs because of this movie, the way that log falls off and right into the police officer again is iconic as well. And that's just the beginning of the Premonition, or the beginning of the disaster of the Premonition. I think it was really well executed as well. One thing I do love about it is it's long, it's painful, it's realistic, and also you see each of the characters in each of their vehicles and you get a little glimpse of what you're going to see moving forward in the movie. You can tell who's going to be part of the Premonition, and you can tell who death is going to come after that Premonition is done. I think this one is one of the best ones because of how it's structured, and I love it so much. And then number 1 is Skyview Premonition from Final Destination 6. Yes, the newest one on the list. Now, because it is the newest, maybe that's because it's the freshest, and that's why it's my favourite at the moment. It might go down the list as time goes by, but at this moment in time in recording this video, Skyview is my number 1. Now, when I wrote the script for this video, I was saying it's probably the biggest in scale, the most bodies that have died in this Premonition. But then I look back to Final Destination 1, and I think more people died on that aeroplane crash. But for Skyview, the most people were saved because the Premonition happened by Iris. So in terms of scale and bodies saved, this has to be the biggest. I love the uniqueness and the style and the aesthetic to this one as well, because it's set in the 60s, 1968, I believe. So it's got a different look and a different feel to it than the rest of the movies. And that's why it's so unique. It also looks like it could have been filmed by Michael Bay, because not only is it horrible to watch, it's like a huge action sequence that we've never seen before to this scale in a Final Destination movie. So there's so many things different about this one that I enjoyed most, and that is why it's number 1. So what are your thoughts on my ranking for the Premonitions, guys? Do you feel like that's the good ranking? That's the one you would do? If it's not, let me know your ranking down below. And if you don't want to do the full ranking, what's your favourite Premonition out of the entire franchise? As always, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!